Hello and welcome to Hey Mom, Play This. I'm Kimmy Amber, and my hope is that through my gameplay, you can decide whether or not you want to play a game as well. This is Sky, Children of the Light. It is a social type of game, lots of social aspects to it. It's a multiplayer online game. If you don't understand that because you're a new player, it just means that lots of people can play in the same game at the same time. So we're going to create a new account. Sky, Children of the Light. There is some really good musical, the soundtrack behind this is really kind of moving, very much appropriate for the scenes in the game. I started playing this game in July of 24. This game is very much supported. There are always little updates for patches, but there's a huge amount of replayability because they have regular events. They have special, they call them seasons, where there's basically little quest lines that you have to follow. And you get rewards for those things. Now, this is a free game, absolutely free. And one of the things that's beautiful about this particular game is that you have, look at this, it's just adorable. You have cosmetics that you can earn in the game, and some of them are really some of the nicer cosmetics in the game you can actually get through game currency. There is an online store where you can buy with real cash other cosmetics, but they're not required for the game, and they just enhance your character for your personality. They're not something you have to have, and there definitely is plenty of that within the game to customize your character for you. All right, we looked like a shooting star, and now we have landed. Once you've done your first playthrough, there is an option for you to skip the skippable cutscenes. So that is something that you can do to speed up your gameplay. All right, I am playing this on keyboard and mouse through Steam. I believe that is the only avenue now for this game. If you haven't played games, WASD, W is going to be forward, A is to the left, S is backward, D is to the right. And if you want to run, space to jump. These are kind of, for you who are new, these controls on the keyboard, they're kind of standard through a lot of games nowadays. So you can carry these action keys over to another game. All right, F to interact with things. press F by the flame to bring out your light. This one, if you press left, you see the little indicator of that's where you need to go. That's just a press of the left key. There is also hold it down for a second and it beeps. Hold it down for longer and it does a big beep. It's called a deep call or a long call. But you can sort of talk by, I hope you can hear let me see if I can turn up the sounds a little bit on this audio so that you can actually hear a lot of what's going on here. It's kind of cute. All right, he wants us to hold hands. The game's actually pretty genderless. So if I say he, it could be a she or vice versa. Don't be offended. We use our candle light for a lot of things in this game. And you really don't know a lot of what's going on in this game, partially because there is no spoken dialogue at all, not even between players. So what you have to do is emote a lot of that, and I'll show you those when we get our first emotes. This is the Hopeful Steward, excuse me. It's Ren Fair season, and in a couple of weekends is Celtic weekend, and at our fair we have Mary Queen of Scots who visits. So Stuart, the Hopeful Steward, and here's our little quest line. He wants us to explore the village, I guess. I have, like I said, I started this in July of 2024. This is May of 25. And so, all right, let's take our new friend in here. So this particular part of the game, I haven't seen in a year, almost a year. Let's go see what's going on over here. All right, you don't know this at this point, but this growth that's on here are called darkness plants. And we get rid of them by burning them with our candle. And sometimes you have to move around to get all of them. And then we're going to burn the darkness off of this person the same way we did the Hopeful Steward. I keep saying Steward. Take out our candle. Now see the little stars that were there? That's an indication of a goal of your quest. It's a good way to find your quest point if you're just kind of a little lost. All right, let's get in the chair. This is a menu that gives you an opportunity, and this is where you find all of your cosmetics, not this particular spot. I'll show you where the closet is, but you can change things. This is where your cosmetics are all going to show. This is our standard hair. We can change our hair, and I personally like this one, so we're going to leave that one. We'll escape to get out of that menu. Thank you so much for the haircut, and we're going to high five. As I said, we do a lot of stuff through emotes, so that's a way for you to interact with other people. But there are conditions on that too, so we'll get to that eventually. All right, here's wherever this is at this point. I know that this place is called Aviary Village, but it's really kind of dark and gloomy, right? All right, another quest line. See that blue star? If I were looking over here, I wouldn't know where that star is, so I could long call and look around. And there's my goal and my quest focus. So we're going to come over here. Guess he wants us to go find some candles. We'll help him lift this. There's another one right behind it. Oh, wants us to go up here. So we'll put the candle away and come get the rest of them. And let's light all the candles. Now the NPC type things, they will walk you through your quest lines. Okay, look, Those are real people. This game shows other players in a darkened situation because it gives them the opportunity to put more people in the space, in the game itself, at one time, without having to do graphics of all of the cosmetics that they have put on to their characters. All right, we're going to run over here. If you saw the guy, if you skip, you'll move a little faster. I'm hoping he's still down here. Oh, I don't know where he went. Let's go look in here. Oh, it's taken it away from me. I was just exploring, but all right, he wants us to go over there. This area will eventually be the portals area. There's a portal there. Nothing we can get into it right now. And he wants us to come over here. This is a map stone. It's helpful in lots of ways, and as they become more useful, I'll explain how to read the map. And that's exposed the first part of our map. This is our Aviary Village, our home space, and it wants us to go to this space over here. Escape to get out. Go back into Aviary Village here and see if I can find a person with the cape. Now, it looks like all of us are brand new players. When you're brand new, like we are, our character is known as wingless. That'll make sense in a little while. You can fly in this game, but you have to get your wings first. And the wings are represented by that cape that we saw way in the background. This is our closet. And you'll be able to come in here and see things, cosmetics, that you have unlocked. I'm trying to see where we haven't unlocked anything except the hair. So we'll have to come back to the closet. All right. I'm not going to talk to this elder over here. These are our ancestral spirits. They're represented by adult size characters. They're part of the game. They're not real people. So they have different things that they do within the game. I'm not going to touch this one because I know what it's for and I don't want to start at the end. All right, it says, let's go through. Do you not want to come with me? There are actually 6 standard realms, and then the end of the quest line, there's a 7th realm. There's actually a couple of others, but they're part of the storyline. Now, you can make friends, acquaintances, by holding your candle up to them. And now you can see that character in color. This is called making an acquaintance, where you don't actually know them, they're not your friends, but you could make friends with them through the friendship tree. Let's see if I can, there we go. I could make friends with them by giving a candle. Now the candles are in-game currency and they will total up here as we go. Right now we have 3. Let's go explore the Isle of Dawn. Anytime you see candles, you're going to want to light them. Those little balls that just came into me are called candle wax, and it's how we increase our candle count. As you saw up there in the left, up here, there's a little bit of white now in this candle. We're on our way to our 4th candle. I'll explain currency a little bit later. All right, so here is, let's back up a little bit. Here's this part of our story. I'm not entirely certain what the story is, except that there's a constellation in the sky. I do know what the story is. There are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. 4. It said go look for the spirits. We call them children. They're also known to give you wing lights, so you'll hear about candle runs. That's going to get your wax so you can increase your candle count, and go find your wing lights. All right, so we're going to continue on here. Here's some more story. No idea. Now there is a Discord for this game. There is a wiki for this game, and both of them are very supported. So if you have questions, that's a good place to go. Let's see what we've got here. These are the kinds of cutscenes I'm saying that later on you can disable. A long call. There's our goal, I guess, at this point. I'm going to jump off here and we're going to walk along. We are wingless, so we can't fly. Well, to make a bid call, how do we? Oh, butterflies. Make a bid call and the butterflies will help you to move, to go up. Particularly important when you don't have any wings. Here's another map stone. And we're still on our way through. And then we're going over there eventually. All right. Now you can follow directly that way. We're going to do that on this one just for a matter of time. But it is absolutely worth exploring in your in each realm. You do not have to follow it directly. There's a lot of replayability on this game, so eventually you'll come back after doing the first playthrough and you'll explore some more at that point. But here we are. We're actually, I think we're going to go over here and light these candles. What is it trying to tell us there? We're in boats and we're going through the clouds? I don't know. What's your interpretation of that? This person's just hanging out. There is a glitch currently that when anybody long calls for the butterflies, everybody in the area will get pulled back for the butterflies. It's inconvenient in some cases. Like I said, this is very supported, so I'm sure they're working on it. So it said that we need to go up there. Long call, right? So we're going to try and go up there. But we can't go through because it says that I have to have one something out of this constellation. In this case, it's one ancestral spirit. So we need to go find an ancestral spirit. I don't want to do that. Let me go. Storyline I didn't know about. Now, these are ancestral spirits. They're part of the storyline. That lit up little guy up there, he's a child of light. You collect them to get your wing lights. That'll make sense in a minute. We're going to release this spirit from the darkness plant that is growing on it. And then your ancestral spirits, you follow them so that you can see their storyline. He's telling them a story. 3 candles. Not entirely certain what some of these stories are. There is a whole, the canon of Sky. So you can go and look up if you want to understand some of the storyline, or let's see, we're making candles? Looks like we're making candles. And people will tell you what the different areas are about, the different ancestral spirits. There's a lot of, this is what it means. I think it's on Discord. I don't think it's in the wiki. I'm not sure what that character is in the middle, but there's that temple that they were talking about, and those boat things that we saw on the other stone. A whole bunch of people. And then we're coming out here, and we are... There's a boat that it's talking about. Let's see what happens. The boat's gone. Now we have to release this ancestral spirit from the darkness that is imprisoning it. This is an emote. We're getting our first emote, and that is to point. And we're taking to ourselves that ancestral spirit. So then press R to gain a new ability. Here's that pointing emote. Now if you press R again, whoop. Alright, save the spirit has restored power to the spirit gate. You may now pass. Point R. You can sit down. You can point. You can sit down and point. We're going to stand up. There are 37 other ancestral spirits within the game. So like I said, lots of replayability, because you're not going to catch, and you're not even going to be able to get to all of them all at once. This will fill in as we get more emotes. Already get out. Now let's go climb the hill. So as we come up to it, there's that constellation again, and we have to have at least one, which we have. So we put F, it'll open a space in the gate, and we can climb. Oh, hold to make, we can't jump that high, so we're going to let the butterflies do it for us. And W to move forward. I told you at this point we are considered wingless. And here is our child of the light. When you collect this guy, you're going to get winged light, as it says at the bottom. And this is where we get our first wing light, and therefore our first... Does it show the cape at this point? Yes, it does. So we have one level up your wing, and now we have our cape. There's a possibility for 12 sections of your wing, and that is actually represented on the back of the cape. See that big star in the middle? It will count those for you. 5 down, you'll see it as we go along, but That's how you determine how how far along somebody is based on the stars on the back of their cape. At this point, I can't this point, our character is called a moth. I'm not sure where it all came from, other than you're kind of plain. You're a new player. Your cosmetics are kind of plain. You're in the beginning gear that you're given. It's a way for other players to recognize that you're new and you may need help. Eventually, you are no longer a moth, but you can continue to wear these clothes and this cosmetic as long as you're playing the game. Press and hold space. Space is how we jump, how we skip, and how we energize our wing. It's a good thing that this is automatic, because there's no way we were going to be able to fly that high by ourselves with only one wing light. Movement as you fly. W to go up, S to go down. I am not the best flyer, and you'll see that when we get into the next few sections. Even with a whole lot of wing lights, I am not the best flyer. Where are we going? I don't want to go that way. I want to go to the map. Alright. Let's see if we can... Now I'm out of energy there. Up there in the middle, that tells you how much energy you have in your cape. There's another Ancestral Spirit. I don't think we have to do that one right now. I wanted to go back and look at the map. Each little section, full section, has a map piece, and you have to find the map stones. It'll fill in this map that comes up here. And again, I'll show you in a little while the how to read the map, because it'll give you things that are on the... There we go. There's a perfect one. This blue one is that Ancestral Spirit we were looking at. So your map will show you where certain things are that you can look for, that you can go and do. I am going to escape. I'm not going to do that Ancestral Spirit right now. I am going to finish this realm. This is, again, the Isle of Dawn. And this is the temple that they were telling us about, that the Ancestral Spirits give back the light. There's our candles. We're going to come over here and see what the story is over here. I think, oh, you can scroll in and out with your mouse button, your mouse wheel. We don't know what that means yet. And then there's this one over here. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This probably represents the different realms. Possibly. It could be the different sections in the next realm. All right, here we go into the temple. If you aren't here by yourself, you would have to light that candle, and then this circle of light shows up at the bottom. Here's that Ancestral Spirit that we got out of the darkness. We're going to sit down. Oh, he kind of looks like that figure that was on the one wall. I said I wasn't sure what he was. He kind of looks like that, doesn't he? You see there are 6 lines to that. The 6 realms. And the temple elder has put that spirit's light back into the universe. And here's our constellation. Now, there's a constellation at the end of every section, every realm. You come in here, the guy who was pointing to you, we're going to get his emote. And then here's where one of the areas where you get your cosmetics and your rewards. I have a new hairstyle that I can use. I have 4 candles up there, so I could buy both of these. I'm not gonna, there are 4 levels to every emote. I'm not gonna do that, we'll do it later. We're going to, blessing contains a spell lent to you by the spirits. We're gonna buy that. Up here on the left, there's also a heart. Hearts are another type of currency within the game. And so any chance that you can get light is a good time to do it. We have 3 candles. It costs 3 candles. So we're going to get that. Sometimes the hearts are free. So and you can escape out of this to make this faster. This right here is an additional, it's this tree, you are progressing the friend tree, advancing the friend tree, something along those lines. This particular wing style means that you're advancing it a little bit more. This is another in-game currency called an ascension candle. You won't have any of those during your first run through. That's not true. There are a couple of ways for you to get them during your run through, but essentially they're at the end. When you can get these, if you have ascension candles to buy this particular wing unlock, do it, because in the end it gives you an additional wing light on your cape so that you'll have more energy. All right, we're going to escape out of this and escape back. This is that pointing again. It's the same thing. Every time you get an interact where you get have to click to get an ability, it'll show up. And every temple has basically a back door for you to get to the next area. I'm going to collect this wing light. Now I have 2 energy on my cape. And 2 is what I need to get another little wing. And there's why it's called a wing light. The cape doesn't really change, but the indicator at the top does. And then we are going to jump off with the birds. Now you can flap to make you go a little bit faster with the space bar. Up and down, left and right. If you don't touch any controls, it will just carry you through this. So don't feel like you have to. I get lost in the clouds like this a lot. And now we're into a cutscene again. To fly faster. Now you can dip down into the clouds and it will restore your energy. Go W to rise and flap. If you're within the birds or near those flying, they're called mantas, they will also replenish your energy. We're going to flap again, get some energy. To toggle your flight mode, right now we're basically sailing, but right mouse click, and now I'm just kind of drifting. This particular one is really good if you have to go straight up. We can't get very far because we're a moth. Go back here and get some energy. But if you just hold the spacebar, it'll lift you. You can move forward as you're lifting. This is called a closed wing. And then to fly distances, you use less energy if you're open wing. Darkness has fallen upon the Golden Wasteland. We'll talk about another time. So this is the entry to the next zone. And we're actually going to stop here. Almost every entry area has the closet. So if you wanted to come in here, we got a new hairstyle, remember? If you wanted to come in here and change your hairstyle, you can do that. Same with and here's all of the different hairstyles that you can do. There's also hats and other hair accessories. There's a space for capes, for additional things that you carry. We have masks and clothing, and there's a lot of it. Most of this, this can get really, really long. Most of this you can buy with in-game currency. All right, so now that we've gone through the Isle of Dawn, we're actually going to stop here. I'm going to go back to Aviary Village. You do that by escape to get to the menu and portals. We have an inbox. What does the inbox say? There was a new update. It doesn't say what day. We started 49 minutes ago in our game. So an update about the season, the event that's going on currently. The nest will get to just information that that game company, the publisher, wants you to have. And then Days of Nature is the event that is going on right now. But in the escape, of course, to get back out of the menus, within the menu, escape to get into the menu, we've got our graphics, audio control, all of the standard. I want to tweak this, I want the music lower, I want to change the controllers. It is partially handheld controller supported, so if you prefer an Xbox or a DualSense, you can connect that and play that way. I learned on the keyboard, so I'm not quite as fluent not as effective using a controller. It's also, like I said, you can get it as a mobile game. I've played it a couple of times. I learned on a keyboard, so playing it on the mobile is a little less, it's a little clunky for me. But a lot of people started with this on a mobile. It also is on Steam Deck, which is a handheld, and I'm not certain, but I kind of think you can play it on the Switch. So there are handheld options for that. Maybe I would have a little more luck on a handheld because I've got my joysticks and my buttons, but I like the keyboard and mouse. So you choose the avenue that's best for you. This portals, that's going to take us back. Yes, we're going to go to the portals. And we're going to explore for just a few minutes since our gameplay is 49 minutes a minute or two ago. I've got to start wrapping this up. And now a new portal is open for us. We've completed Isle of Dawn, so the lights for Isle of Dawn have if you wanted to go back to right where you left, you can go to this circle, kneel in it, it'll take you right back. In this case, it'll take us to the entrance to the Daylight Prairie, which is our next area. That section is the end of our storyline. Remember, the elder in the temple took his wand and lit. This is what it lit, and there's the representation of having Isle of Dawn. And there are 6 spaces on here, one for each, or lines that go into that center, one for each of the realms. All right, I am going to go back to... Does he have anything to say, additional to say to me? Nope. So we can go on to Daylight Prairie another time. I plan to... We've got some rubble in our doors in Aviary Village, so we're going to have to do some cleanup around here. Oh, there's one that's open. We'll look at that next time. We'll talk about the Friendship Stone, Constellation Stone. Okay, so that is it for today. I am Kimmy Amber. This has been Sky, Children of the Light, and my channel is Hey Mom, Play This.